Hello and welcome once again to the Guy Who Knows a Guy podcast. I am your host, Michael Whitehouse, the guy who knows a guy, and we are continuing the series of the Podapalooza special. And next up here in the Podatorium is Eric F. King, and he's going to be talking to us about how to build your authority, credibility, and visibility to get more sales and get more speaking engagements. So if you're in business, you want more sales, which who doesn't? Then you may be listening to the right episode. So, Eric, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right. So tell us a little about yourself and then about how we should be building our authority, credibility, and visibility.
All right. Well, I have a background as a sales coach for about 15 years. So I've been helping entrepreneurs sell their offers without being pushy or salesy. And I've always wanted to speak on more stages, podcasts, online summits, things of that nature. And then I was introduced to speaking in a studio, like you see my background, it's an in-person studio. And I realized that gave me more authority and credibility. And I became really obsessed with how to generate that kind of authority, credibility, and visibility for other people so that they can be able to share their offers and become more known to the public.
Okay. And so my first thought is studios sound expensive.
Yes. So, well, actually, to build a studio is expensive, but in terms of people actually speaking on my stage, it's not as expensive as you probably think. Because we use it year round, and there's a lot of things that we do to help the speakers. It's not just speaking on the stage, right? We do the videos, the pictures, and things of that nature. So, but there's a cost to it. Obviously, it's not free. There's a cost to it. Yes.
But so you have a studio, and then your clients come in and use your equipment.
Yes. So they come in. It's usually a 2-day event. They come in the day before the event. One of the great things about it is you're working with other speakers, coaches, and authors. So it's more of a networking and collaboration kind of deal as well as speaking on the stage to a live audience.
Okay. And so what type of events are we talking about? Like a virtual summit from the studio, or?
Yes. So it's a virtual event for everybody that comes to the event. The speakers themselves are actually in my studio in North Carolina. So they're physically in the studio, and then we have a worldwide audience, and they're able to share their expertise on the stage, and we help them with that, building credibility, authority, and visibility.
Okay. And so for someone who is speaking, whether it's on your studio stage or on a Zoom stage or anywhere else, what are some of the things that you think people most need to know? In other words, what are the mistakes you see, and how do we not make them?
Sure, absolutely. So aside from even speaking on the stage, one of the big mistakes people make online is they don't do enough video. Right. Especially people that are a little older. I'm in my 50s, and some people my age think, hey, I didn't grow up with video. Well, it doesn't matter. You need to start doing it now. because I look at websites all day from people that want to speak on my stage, and sometimes I don't see one video. And the thing is, if you don't have a video, it's hard for people to connect with you.
Yeah.
Right. 80% of the content people consume online is video. So you have to have some kind of video presence online nowadays for people to get to know, like, and trust you.
I'm reminded what Gary Vee said, which is, you didn't grow up driving a car either, but you figured that out.
Exactly.
So, you didn't grow up doing any of this stuff. You didn't grow up as a coach or influencer, but you figured it out.
Exactly. Yeah, they're all learned skills. For some reason, people think you have to be born a speaker. You have to be born a salesperson. Like, these are all learned skills.
Yeah. No one is born speaking.
Exactly.
Literally.
Exactly. Yeah.
Screaming, yes. Speaking, no.
Yeah. So that's one of the things. Another thing I talk about a lot is becoming an expert at something. Right. There are too many people that want to be everything to everybody. And they think that, by doing a little bit of this and a little bit of that, they get more business, they get more clients, and that is just the opposite.
Yeah.
Because if you do so many different things, people won't pay you a lot of money to speak, and they certainly won't pay you to get your coaching or whatever, because they figure you're a jack of all trades. But if you do one thing and you're so good at it, people will go out of their way to find the money to pay you because you're such an expert at it, right? So I talk a lot about that, niching down, being good at something, being actually great at something. And I think one of the mistakes people make is they want to be good at everything, and they say it's multiple streams of income. But what it is really multiple droplets of income if you're not great at anything.
Yeah.
Because you're making a couple hundred here, a couple hundred there, but you're not really making a lot, right? The people that really are good at multiple streams, they created one stream and they were so good at it. And okay, Anthony Robbins, right? He's known as a motivational speaker, life coach. He can get in any business and become successful because he had one stream that we've known for the last 30, 40 years. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Yeah, and also, multiple streams of income is usually different lines.
Yes,
so
yes.
Speaking on A, B, and C is not multiple streams of income, it's speaking.
They're speaking, exactly.
Multiple streams of income is you get paid to speak, you get paid to coach, you get paid for affiliate commissions,
yes,
you
maybe
get
your
paid for your
books.
books. Like
yes.
Those are multiple streams.
Exactly.
Yeah, multiple focuses aren't multiple streams. So that's
exactly.
yeah. I'm right. A friend of mine who he got fascinated by telephony, like how phone systems work at the back end.
Yes.
And all that information is publicly available. So he just started studying it, just geeking out. And one day he realized that he had expertise to the point where Verizon actually brought him in as a consultant because he knew more than their engineers did on how some of these systems worked, because he just went all the way down this one rabbit hole of knowledge. And it's just such a niche thing. Be like, no one's going to hire you for that unless, maybe you get a job with the phone company, but probably not. But he ended up he built a multi-million-dollar business consulting because he was such an expert in this one weird little space that nobody else know about.
Yeah, exactly. And the funny thing about it is he was probably one of maybe the 5 best in the country.
Yep.
Right. So they actually pay him a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Because they can't find anybody like him. You know what I mean?
So
that's the thing right there. He became so good at it. He commanded a lot more money. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Generalist is very, very interchangeable. Yeah. I find this a lot too, because I run a lot of virtual summits, and every time I hear someone say, like, I help people break through their mental blocks, and my audience is everyone. I'm like, cool. There's 10,000 people just like you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like they do the exact same thing the exact same way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You are a block of yellow cheese that I can
get. Block of yellow cheese. Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So that's and so you bring people in for your events.
Yes.
And what are some of the big benefits you see that they get from? Well, actually, the first question is, how do you build those events? Where's that audience come from?
Yes. So what I do is I have speakers that speak on different topics, right? So let's say you have a public speaking coach, you have a coach that talks about networking and collaboration. So I do ads. I do Facebook ads and Instagram ads. So I asked each speaker to give me like a sentence or two about how their speech will benefit the crowd. And I use that messaging in my ads, so it pulls the right people to come to these events, right? That will be in the crowd. And so some of my speakers, well, many of my speakers, they get speaking engagements just because of the people that came. They want them to speak on their stages. They get a lot of clients from it. One lady, she sold over 300 books from being on my stage and became a bestseller. So yeah, we attract the right people for to hear the speakers, because that's the most important thing. It's not just about speaking; it's about speaking to their target audience.
Yeah. And so you've dialed in the algorithm, the math that is Facebook ads.
Absolutely.
To draw them in there, and then they get in front of that audience, and then so they get in front of the audience, they offer them the book or whatever. And maybe some people say, I like it, I want you on my stage too. And then where do they take it from there?
Yeah, so I'll give you an example. One lady named Sylvia, she came on our stage, and before she was even done, she already had 2 people leave her a message that they want her on their stage, and they both paid gigs. And then she also has a coaching program. So after when she spoke, she also shared her coaching program. Some people signed up for that. She made more money there. And then she came to our stage again, did it again, and got similar success. And that's why she sold her 300 books. So, we help you. And then aside from that, we give you the digital assets you need, right? So we do the video. We do the video of you speaking. We cut it up into shorts and reels done for you so you can use them on your website. We give you an award, to give you the credibility. So now you're an award winner, right? You're an award winner. So there's a lot that we do on the back end. And then we continue to promote you after you speak on our stage. So yeah, so it's not just, I always say my events are not just a 1-day gig kind of thing, because we're helping you from the beginning to the end. And then because of my background in sales, I help you with crafting your offer or tweaking your offer and making it more irresistible. So, so you can even sell more.
Okay. That's a great concept. Yeah. Yeah. What I like about it is that such a complete solution.
Yes.
A lot of things I find in the business self-improvement industry are very partial solutions, or they have some sort of nebulous, like, oh, you'll get the business, it'll business. But there's a very solid, like, I can really understand what you do and what it does.
Yes, absolutely.
Which it's kind of disturbing that jumps out at me as like, wow, I can understand what you do and what it does, because I never hear that. Like, it's really clear, and I really like that concept. Now the people who get on your stages, your clients, I guess we'd say, are they experienced speakers who just are looking to get more exposure? Are they newer speakers? Are they a little bit of both?
That's a great question. So to speak on my stage, there are a few requirements. Number one, you have to have experience speaking in that topic that you want to speak about. So if you're a public speaking coach, you can't just be a brand new public speaking coach that's never actually taught somebody how to speak in public, right? So you have to have experience in the field to be able to help people, and you have to have experience speaking in front of crowds. It's not a speaking academy. I don't teach you how to speak. You already have to know how to be speaking. Yeah, so you have to have experience, some experience, absolutely. And not like, if you studiospeaking.com is the site. A lot of people, when they go on there and they see examples, because I have like 20 different testimonials on there, they notice that all these people actually are good speakers already. Right. My job is to put them on the platform so they can, more people can get to know them, what they do.
Okay. So you take a good speaker and you share them.
I edify them. I build them up. I make them to get seen in the places they've never been seen by people.
Yeah. And I think that brings a really important point, that there are speaking coaches and there are people who support speaking business.
Yes.
And they are different.
Very different.
Yeah. Kind of like in sports, you have an agent and you have a trainer. And they do very different things.
Very different.
And the trainer should not be your agent. The agent should not be your trainer. And so the things that make you good when you're on stage, that's one person who teaches you to perfect your message and your presentation and whatnot. And I imagine you probably know a fair amount about that, doing as much as you do, but that's not your thing.
Exactly. It's not my niche. Just like I said, I'm not going to say, oh, I teach you how to speak. Oh, I also help you promote yourself. Oh, and I do this. That'll be a jack of all trades.
Yeah. I'm sure if your cousin comes to you and says, hey, I'm getting into speaking, I'm about to give a talk, do you have some pointers for me? I'm sure you've got some, like, this works, this doesn't. But but you wouldn't say, now give me some money and let me teach you how to do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't charge as a public speaking coach, because that's not my forte.
Yeah, because those two very different. So, but so there's the visibility side of getting that skill in front of people, and then there is the developing that skill. And so for anyone who's looking to improve as a speaker, you need to improve as a speaker and also improve as a business of speaking. And there's probably no one who can help you with both. No one person who can help you with both.
No one person.
You need two sources of support for that, and that's a really powerful point.
Absolutely.
So for questions like, how does someone get started? That's not up to Eric. You got to get to be a speaker first, then he takes you to the next level. And going from there. But does someone need to be an established speaker, as in they're already getting paid and they're already on the circuit? They have to, when they open their mouth, smart things come out.
Well, they have to have experience speaking in front of a group.
Yeah.
So they don't have to have been paid before, because maybe that's why they need to get on my stage, so they can get the assets for them to be actually
Yeah.
get paid. Right. So no, but you do
So
have to have experience,
so if they've been
because
on podcasts, summits,
yes, or you speak.
webinars.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you think about it, the speaking in a studio is not the first time you should speak, because when that clock goes down, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I mean, you may just freeze.
Yeah.
You need something that's not so much pressure to get started, and then later on, you can speak in the studio. You know what I mean?
Yep. So what's the experience speaking in a studio versus either a live stage or Zoom?
Yeah. So the difference between speaking in a studio and live stage is very different. Number one, a live stage is probably actually easier because you get the feedback of the crowd,
Mm.
right? You can see people, you can hear them, they can laugh, right? That you get the energy of the crowd. When you speak in the studio, you're speaking to this Zoom, to this large Zoom, but you can't hear them. So it's just you. You're only listening to yourself. So
Hmm.
so I literally have to tell people, like, I don't want I don't want to throw you off. Like when you get there, it's gonna be like no one's clapping. It's because they're on mute and you're the only one speaking.
But you can see them though. There's
You
like
can
a
see them.
wall.
They're
Okay.
right in front of you. They're right in front of you. Yeah. And
Okay.
you see them very well because each person is like this big. So you literally can see them. And
Okay.
you can see the reaction, but you can't hear them. So you
Yeah.
just have, yeah.
But if you're used to Zoom, you crack a joke and you see everyone go,
Exactly. It's like, yeah, exactly.
uh,
Yeah, exactly.
yeah. But versus if you look at them when they're all looking away and
Then you got a
um,
problem.
then
Yeah.
that's definitely an acquired skill is reading a Zoom room because
Yes.
compared to a live room, any given Zoom room looks less engaged because half
Yes.
the people, their computers over here, their cameras over there, so looking this
Yeah.
way. But they are watching you because the screen's right there, but the camera's over there.
Yeah.
And so, yes, you have to learn how to kind of read a Zoom room.
Yeah, and
But
it's interesting because if you see my studio behind me, the chat is right beside, so you can actually see the chat and the faces at the same time.
okay,
So I always tell people to use the chat. Say say something like, okay, if you got something out of what I just said, put a yes in the chat, and then
okay,
you'll literally see all the yeses coming down. And it has a great effect when it's on in a 6 foot when there's a 6 foot Zoom. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yes, yes,
So
something's
yeah.
going on. Yeah, yeah, I've done radio, and
Right.
radio is a surreal experience of you're sitting in a room with one person, and you know that somewhere between 0 and 20,000 people are listening to every word you say, and
Yeah.
you have no idea how many or when or how or if, and yeah, it's because there's no feedback.
No,
Like you
forget.
can't
You're
see
just
anyone,
talking.
you
Yeah.
can't hear anyone. There's
Yeah.
nothing
Yeah.
and you're
It's
just
interesting.
speaking into the void. So, so it sounds like this is more it's closer to speaking to a Zoom room, just a Zoom room with lights and cameras and
Yeah. Yeah. Well, what I tell my speakers to calm their nerves
Mhm.
is I say it's just like speaking on Zoom,
Yeah,
but the Zoom is just bigger, right? And they're like, oh, I never thought of it that way.
yeah,
It's just bigger.
yeah. Because that's all they're doing. They're speaking to the
Yeah.
same,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just like a
And
Zoom
and
room.
it looks different, right? It's like you're on TV, right?
Yeah,
So it gives you it gives you, you're seen in a different light. And that's when I started. I noticed that a lot more people showed up, a lot more people booked a call, a lot more people bought my offer because I look more professional speaking in the studio than I did speaking just on my computer in my office, right? So yeah.
yeah, yeah. It makes a lot of sense. And
Mhm.
and then there's also a challenge of talking about people of a certain age that getting your Zoom set up to look professional
Yeah.
is an art in itself. It's not super difficult, but man, I have people all the time ask me like, "Oh, how do you look so crisp and defined?" I'm like, "Because I have a green screen, a physical green screen.
Yeah,
You
they don't
run
even
your
know what that
business off
is.
Zoom. How do you not have a physical green screen?"
Yeah.
Um, but almost no one does. Probably
Mhm,
one
mhm.
out of 30 people I meet has a physical green screen. Everyone else is virtual.
Yeah, yeah. And you can
So
do that on Amazon and put it and connect it to your chair. People don't know
yeah,
you can do.
yeah.
Nobody
There's
knows
a
you
lot of
can
ways to
do
do
it.
it. It's not very expensive.
Yeah.
In my case, my office actually set up so there's a wall behind me. I just
Oh,
hung it,
okay. Oh, to the
which
wall.
is even easier than setting up the frame and everything. That's what I originally. I'm
Yes.
like, I could just nail the screen to the wall. That'll
There
be
you
easy.
go.
So,
There you Yeah.
but yeah, so many things like that. And yeah, I'll run summits. People will show up with their laptop up their nose,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and you have to tell them to adjust their. I'm like, it's 2025. We've been on here for a while, guys.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I still have people book a call sometimes, and they're like, "Can we talk on the phone instead of Zoom?" And I said, "Why?" Well, I'm not really good with Zoom. I'm like, "Well, let's do Zoom. I'll teach you." Because you don't want to be saying you're not good in Zoom. I mean, it's not hard. You just get on it. So I literally coach them through it instead of talking on the phone. I'm like, "No, let's do this. You can do it."
Yeah, it's one thing not know the advanced things. Like, I have my Zoom set up so it saves the chat automatically. I know the hotkeys for raising your hand and going to the chat and recording and all these different things.
Yeah.
You don't need to know all that, but you should at least be able to hop on a Zoom call and, look like a professional getting on a Zoom call.
Exactly.
Because, I'm not good at Zoom. Well, I guess you better move out to the country or something and maybe
move
find
out
some
of the
useful
United
farm
States.
skills.
I mean, everywhere they use Zoom now.
Yeah, I'm not sure what career you can get into where you can selling cars. I think selling cars you can avoid Zoom. Probably not Zoom. Probably not real estate. I bet real estate that's a bunch of Zoom calls.
Not real estate.
But I think selling cars you can avoid Zoom there.
I think that's probably the only profession I can think of where unless you're like a plumber or something.
Yeah, you go into the trades, that might do it. But otherwise, you're doing anything in knowledge work, better get used to Zoom.
Exactly.
It's where we're staying. The new phone. So, so if someone wants to know more about this, you did share the website studiospeaking.com. What's the best way for people to connect with you and learn more about this?
Sure. Well, aside from studiospeaking.com, I do have something I want to give all your viewers today.
Yes.
It's an ebook I created. Basically, it's 100 ways to market your business to get more visibility and credibility. 100 ways. People always tell me that I should charge for this, but for now it's free. So they go to Success with Eric. So Eric is ERIC. successwitheric.com/100, and that's the number 100.
successwitheric.com/100,
and they can grab this ebook for free just right away. And by the way, you can see me on all social media, Eric F. King. Basically all social media.
All right, awesome. So that's successwitheric.com/100 for the 100 ways to market your business. And is one of those write a book of 100 ways to do something? And
probably yes. Write a book or an ebook. I think an ebook is one of them too.
Because that is a great way to do it. So awesome. Well, this has been fascinating. I'd love to learn more about your studio and how all that works because it's interesting. I don't hear a lot about physical facilities. So
that's what makes it unique.
There's something to that. So awesome. Well, thank you so much for being on the show. It's been great to connect with you, and I'm sure we'll talk more.
Absolutely. The pleasure is mine.